And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kira Phillips. Today on ABC News Live, targeting witnesses before they even testify. We're only in day 2 of jury selection, and Donald Trump is already calling Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels sleazebags. And he's violating the judge's limited gag order and now forcing the Manhattan DA's office to file a formal request to actually hold Trump in contempt. This hush money case already making history, as this is the first time a former president has stood trial on criminal charges, and the proceedings already proving to be challenging. Not one juror seated after an entire first day of filtering through the pool of New Yorkers. At least 50 of them excused after raising their hand, claiming that they just couldn't be fair or impartial. This case years in the making, and all stemming from those allegations that Trump made hush money payments to porn star Stormy Daniels just prior to the 2016 election in an effort to conceal an alleged affair. This is the first of 4 criminal cases involving Donald Trump to go to trial as he continues to make his bid to return to the White House. We have team coverage with our senior investigative correspondent, Olivia Rubin, outside the courthouse. She joins me along with executive editorial producer John Santucci and our legal contributor and trial attorney, Brian Buckmire. Olivia, why is jury selection moving at such a slow pace?
Well, Kira, they have a lot to get to and a lot to tease out of these jurors. And I think one thing that is really contributing to the length of this process is the questionnaire that each juror is filling out one by one, or I should say answering one by one in the courtroom in front of Donald Trump. So just to sort of put in a picture of how this is working, they're bringing in one panel of jurors. Remember, we started with 96. The judge is giving them pre-instructions, which took about another 30 minutes. Then some of them dismissed themselves. Everyone knows the number. About 50 took themselves out, and then it left with about 50 to tick through the juror questionnaire one by one, and then you go into the individual questioning. So there's a lot to do there, and I'm reminded of the process when they were picking the jury for Donald Trump's civil E. Jean Carroll case, which again, a lot less on the line there. It's civil, it's not a criminal case, but what they did that was different was it wasn't that one by one process of having every juror answer the questionnaire. So I think that it is what is taking up a lot of the time here. But it does seem, and you know, we'll have to see which way Judge Marchand takes it. It does seem like after this lunch break, which is ending any minute now, they are going to start getting into striking some of these jurors, because it appears Todd Blanche, Trump's attorney, and Joshua Steinglass, the prosecutor, each finished their questioning of the 18 jurors that were in the room. So now they each have an opportunity to strike who they did not like, and then you would go into the next batch. So potential here after this lunch break to move the process forward a little bit there.
Brian, how long do you think this could take? And tell us more about these questionnaires and just the type of questions and why this is becoming a bit challenging day 2.
Here in my mind, thinking that we're only going to be in court 4 days a week, I can see us not going just into next week, but the following week. We're going to continue to follow that process that Olivia so eloquently laid out for us of trying to whittle down a large group, first with the judge's orders and instructions. They self-select themselves out. Then you're going through the peremptory challenges and for-cause challenges. Both are 2 different types of strikes. But what I will say is, in terms of why it's taking so long, is this is the process. We in the criminal justice system, especially in New York City and the courts that I've been in, we really want to make sure we get it right. That if someone's liberty is on the line, that there's not a single juror that is biased, there's not a single juror that has an opinion that we think can taint the jury, because we want to make sure that if we're going to take someone's liberty or give them a felony conviction, like what might possibly could happen here with Donald Trump, that you get it right. Because of course, if you get it wrong, there's a conviction. There's also the appeals just take forever. So this is just kind of the method that we choose.
So apparently Trump may give another little speech outside the courtroom. He's been doing this more than once. Is that a good idea, Brian?
Let's put it this way. If you're a political pundit or you're trying to get him reelected, maybe. I mean, John will be better at that aspect in terms of telling us how he takes the kind of courthouse and turns it into a podium and gets more people looking to elect him. But from an attorney, and that's how my mind is focused on this, That is horrible. If I had any ability to control Donald Trump and I was his attorney, I would be pulling him into the courtroom saying, we don't have to make these comments. I don't want you out there saying this was a legal expense, because that might not be our defense when we start opening statements. And so you want to ensure that these comments that are made outside the courtroom about the case are in line with what you're going to argue, because sometimes your client can be the worst witness before they even take the stand.
John, you and I have been there before. Trump's attorney's not always happy with the fact that he just decides to talk at any moment.
Yeah, good luck trying to control him. I think anybody that has tried has failed, and ultimately Donald Trump's most infamous words has been fired, or sometimes they just quit. Look, I think the damage here for Donald Trump is pretty clear, in the sense that, you know, we know next week we're going to have a hearing about this effort by prosecutors to say he violated the gag order on 3 occasions, not because of what he said, but because what he, I don't know, guys, somebody help me, the verb for truthed, I don't know, I guess it's just posted on Truth Social, but that's really what the problem is here, that, you know, what Donald Trump wrote about Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen is going to cause the problems. Now, they're going to tell him to stop. He's probably not, but eventually, if it gets to more money, or the idea that, hey, you keep doing this, you're held in contempt of court, you get thrown in jail, that could turn him off. That would be something that would make Donald Trump potentially stop, but I don't think we're there just yet.
So, Olivia, the judge denied any request from the defense, in particular Todd Blanche, to excuse Trump from attending his presidential immunity case before the U.S. Supreme Court. And he also said that he's going to decide on whether to let Trump go to his son's high school graduation. Barron is about to graduate from high school. I can't believe we're already there. It seems like he was just a little boy yesterday. But, you know, Trump was coming forward saying, the judge isn't letting me go anywhere. I'm going to miss my son's high school graduation. That's just not simply true, right? The judge is still considering the high school graduation.
Exactly. It's not true. The judge did not say, no, you cannot go to your son's graduation. He said that's not something that we can decide right now because of the point that we're at in trial. And we actually went back and looked at this part of the transcript last night because we wanted to be sure that, you know, everyone was understanding what Juan Marchand, the judge, said on that instance. And he has not made a ruling on that. But he did say that Donald Trump could not go to the Supreme Court arguments. He said that you are a criminal defendant here. You do not have to be there, but you do have to be here. And I think John Santucci put it best yesterday when he was describing that Donald Trump is likely learning a very hard lesson in this trial, which is that he does not get to set his own schedule and he does not get to make his own decisions anymore about where he is going and when.
All right. Olivia, John, Brian, thank you all so much. We'll continue to follow jury selection.